Picture this. You make $70,000 a year in a wealthy nation, yet you lie awake stressing, one flat tire away from financial ruin. Every month, the paycheck hits. Almost instantly, bills devour it. The balance drops to zero, and the loop resets. For millions of hardworking people, the root cause of this anxiety is rarely the size of their income. It's the invisible routines they repeat day after day. Tiny, seemingly harmless financial decisions, when repeated thousands of times, compound to quietly dictate a person's entire financial trajectory. Take two people starting at the exact same company, earning the exact same salary. 20 years later, their lives couldn't look more different. One has a thriving investment portfolio and total financial freedom, while the other is drowning in credit card debt and dreading retirement. The massive gap between those two realities is almost never a matter of luck. It is the direct result of learned behavior. Real wealth does not materialize overnight. It is deliberately built through hundreds of unglamorous, calculated choices that most people around you will never even notice. That brings us to habit number 10, lifestyle inflation. Imagine you just got a raise. Your hard work paid off, and the standard instinct is to immediately elevate your standard of living to celebrate. You decide it's time for a luxury apartment. You trade in a perfectly fine car for a newer model, start dining at pricier restaurants, and upgrade your devices. The new wealth is consumed instantly. Looking at this chart, you can see the mechanics of the trap. The income line steps upward, but the expenses line rises immediately to shadow it, leaving zero space between the two. You feel richer and you look successful, but your actual net worth remains completely stagnant. This feeds directly into habit number 9, buying to impress. A massive chunk of modern consumption is driven by a need for societal approval rather than actual utility. Social media exacerbates this loop. We scroll through highly curated highlight reels every day, and before long, online comparison translates directly into real-world debt. The irony is that the appearance of wealth often serves as a mask for deep financial struggle. Actual wealth is invisible. It is held quietly inside investment accounts and appreciating assets, not wrapped in luxury logos. Habit number 8 is ignoring how money actually works. We spend years in school memorizing algebra and ancient history, but graduate with a total absence of baseline financial literacy. We enter adulthood expected to navigate high-stakes mechanisms like taxes, credit scores, and 30-year mortgages without ever being taught the underlying rules of the system. The primary purpose of financial education is not learning how to get rich quickly. It is learning how to stop making expensive, catastrophic mistakes that wipe out years of hard work. We have only scratched the surface. Now we are going to jump past the middle tier of habits and skip directly to the absolute heaviest hitters, the traps so deeply normalized, most people don't even realize they're falling into them. The true danger of these core traps lies in their ordinary nature. They do not ruin lives in a single day. They silently drain your resources year after year until decades have slipped by.
Habit number 4 is never investing. Imagine working hard, saving your money, and hoarding it in a basic checking account for 20 years. It feels incredibly safe, but there is an active, invisible force called inflation. Over time, it continually erodes the purchasing power of that stagnant money. As prices rise, your saved cash buys less and less of the world. This graph illustrates the crucial difference. Saving protects today's money, represented by that stagnant flatline. But offensive investing, shown by the steadily rising compound interest curve, is how you build tomorrow's wealth. Habit number 3 is lacking an emergency fund. Life guarantees unexpected crises. Your car transmission will blow or a medical bill will arrive, and those events will not wait for your budget to be ready. Without an emergency fund, a minor inconvenience transforms instantly into high-interest debt. That debt creates massive stress, which forces further poor decision-making in a vicious, exhausting spiral. Habit number 2 is buying unneeded items. Modern retail giants spend billions weaponizing behavioral psychology, using targeted colors and one-click checkouts to intentionally bypass your logical thought process. We start to confuse the fleeting emotional thrill of a transaction with the long-term utility of a product. The excitement of a new purchase fades in a few hours, while the credit card payments linger for months. Now we arrive at the final, most destructive habit, This trap applies universally, regardless of your income, background, or where you grew up. Habit number 1 is waiting for someday. It is the trap of perpetual procrastination regarding your financial goals. Someday I'll start saving. Someday I'll tackle my debt. Waiting for a perfect moment of stability is a massive illusion. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and suddenly, decades of compounding time and opportunity have vanished. Financial momentum is never generated by waiting. It is generated by immediate, imperfect actions. Reading a single finance article, tracking your expenses for 1 week, or saving your first $50. Achieving financial freedom relies entirely on establishing these small, boring daily routines. It does not require a massive leap forward. It requires taking the very next step. Ultimately, money is simply a tool. When managed carelessly, it creates endless anxiety. But when managed correctly, it buys options. Having options is the ultimate form of personal freedom. On the left side of this visual, you see the chaos of overlapping unpaid bills. But on the right, you see the calm reality of an organized budget and steady compound growth. If you recognized yourself in a few of these habits today, do not beat yourself up.
Almost everyone has made expensive mistakes in the past. Every single dollar you save, every financial skill you learn, and every smart boundary you establish today is a literal, direct investment in your future self. The only question that matters now is what you will do differently. Reflect on the habit keeping you stuck and make a concrete change the moment this video ends. Let me know in the comments which habit you plan to break first. Hit the subscribe button to keep learning,